Welcome to Oddball. I'm Amin Elhassan. That's Izzy Gutierrez. I made a mistake. Yesterday's word of the day was not penultimacy. Today's word of the day is penultimacy. That's on me. That's my bad.
Still
hey guys, NBA draft is today, right? Interested? You excited for that, Izzy? An NBA draft?
You know when I get excited for the NBA draft? On NBA draft day.
Well, today's NBA draft day.
So yes, I'm excited.
Get excited. And Sean Charania went on Pat McAfee show almost a month ago, and he predicted that this is going to be the craziest offseason ever. The team executives have been anticipating this, and everybody's so excited. Now, obviously, a lot has happened since May 27th, Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new champion. Our runner-up lost their key contributor. And there have been a couple of big deals that have happened, right, with Kevin Durant and Desmond Bane in the offseason. And Pat Connaughton picked up his option. Let's not forget that one.
Right, so, huge.
Izzy, what we decided to do is that the producers have devised this grid. It's a draft grid, right, where it's a gradient to preview which teams are going to be the big players tonight. So left to right on the x-axis, we have inactive, meaning they're just going to take their pick and use it, and that's it, versus very active, meaning, hey, wheeling and dealing. And then on the y-axis, we have care a lot, like, oh, yeah, like this is going to be something that makes people start talking to. Nobody gives a shit. Don't care, all the way at the bottom. So
Sacramento Kings neighborhood.
Well, let's see. We'll see. Where we go. Let's see what teams they have first. So first up, we have the Dallas Mavericks. They have the number 1 overall pick. It's reports that it's going to be Cooper Flagg. Is that? I mean, to me, that means they're inactive, right? Like they're just going to be.
This is the whole difficulty with the Dallas Mavericks is what do they believe? Like, where do they believe they are in their pursuit of a championship? Are they on a big pause because of the Kyrie Irving injury? Are they saying, hey, we are just getting started and we're going to hit the track running because we've got Anthony Davis, a defensive player potentially of the year. We've got another potential number 1 overall pick in Cooper Flagg, and we've got Kyrie coming back. If they are thinking that they want to win right now still, I think there might be some thought of activity. Like they might, or other way, sorry. They might want to go to the active route, right?
Yeah, active. Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I think, but look, one of the names that have been attached to them because of the Kyrie injury is Chris Paul. Chris Paul, who's probably going to be the odd man out in San Antonio now that when Wemby comes back healthy, you got De'Aaron Fox. You kind of don't need Chris Paul anymore. Meanwhile, Dallas is like, yeah, we could use a guy like that for maybe the whole season, maybe just most of the season, depending on when Kyrie Irving returns. So if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I'm going to be active. It may not be around my pick. The pick's still going to be Cooper Flagg, but yeah, right around there is good.
Okay,
now,
so I like that. Active, just not around the pick. So you can still somehow, by having a fill stopgap in Chris Paul, still sort of nurture the young Cooper Flagg and let him be a part of what could be a championship run start right off the bat.
Yeah, I think this is a case where he's an understudy. They're going to try and compete for a championship, and he's around to learn good habits from good vets. And then one day, kid, the keys are yours. This whole kingdom is yours, but not quite yet. And there's another conversation for another day of, is that the best way to develop someone? But the question is now for us, do we care a lot or do we not care at all?
I think because they have the number 1 pick, we automatically care. Because if they move it, we want to know, hey, where the heck is that pick moving? If they do move it, we also be like, hey, wait a second, how crazy is Nico Harrison after all?
They're not moving it.
No. Okay. Well, I don't care that much to touch the ceiling there because I don't think Cooper Flagg is going to make that big of a difference, even if Kyrie Irving does come back at some point, whatever, January, February of next year. And honestly, there's just question marks in terms of what type of player he will be in the league. You've heard like Scottie Pippen comparisons. Like I think a lot of times with the one and done, you don't see the whole bag. You don't see the entire resume played out in that first year. So we still need to see how he looks. He could, like when he played for Team USA, everybody thought he was great. He was like the most talked about player there. So he could be even better than we think. So maybe they do have championship aspirations if he turns out to be, a 20-point a game rookie.
Yeah, I like him right there, right where we got it, right in that midpoint. I think we care because the Mavericks, because we're going to care anyway, because of the Luka trade, is always going to be a spotlight on. And what are y'all up to since you traded your franchise player So we're going to always care. All right. I mentioned the Spurs and Chris Paul perhaps leaving. Let's talk about the Spurs. Izzy, they have the 2nd pick and the 14th pick. There's 2 lottery picks. They're going to make picks at both spots, you think?
That would see this one, like they could just fill out the roster. They could talk or look at it like an OKC situation and say, hey, we know we're building around Victor. We've got another all-star there and Foxy, and we can just load up and take both of these draft picks and see what happens. But I think there's enough intrigue around this team to where they can look around and say, hey, what type of veteran can we get here? Obviously, it's not going to be Kevin Durant anymore, but who can we get here to maybe speed this timeline up a little bit? Because obviously with Victor Wembanyama, you've got all the time in the world, but with De'Aaron Fox, maybe not. Also with Victor Wembanyama, you're a little scared because he's got the blood clot in his shoulder. So I think they're probably going to be looking for somebody else in that front court who can carry them if they have to miss some time with Vic.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I hope the blood clot issue is cleared up and he's fine and ready to go. And that's just a thing of the past. De'Aaron Fox is in the last year of his deal. Mm-hmm. So, there is a version of urgency to figure something out here. Maybe it's a replacement. Maybe it's something that pushes him forward. Maybe he's going to sign an extension this summer and all this is rendered moot. Stephon Castle, obviously, he had a great year. Rookie of the year. You got Jeremy Sohan, who is in the last year of his deal. You've got Devin Vassell, who's long-term signed, and Keldon Johnson, who's got 2 more years on his deal. So that's pretty much your core right there if you're the San Antonio Spurs. I kind of feel like this is one of those ones, if they can get a young vet, they'll make a move.
Right.
But it's kind of like you're still kind of in the accumulation. So I'm saying less active. Let's go. Yeah, maybe towards an active a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do care a lot though. Anything with Victor Wembanyama makes it interesting.
I don't care.
Okay. You care less than the Mavs.
I care definitely less than the Mavs because it's a young team and it's like there still is the birth for, we won 40 games. That's a massive success for us. And like,
you know what? You're right. Bring it down right just under the care, don't care, the x-axis because if they would have gotten Kevin Durant, I'm like, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Now I'm just like, all right, let's see what they can do. Not super interested. I like where we have them.
All right. Next up, we got the Philadelphia 76ers, everyone's favorite punching bag. The Sixers have the 3rd pick of the draft. Are they going to stay? Or are they going to go? Let's start with the caring. I think I care a lot. I think I'm moving all the way to the top.
More than average, for sure. I would go close to the top.
You're moving the wrong way, Chance. Up. There you go.
Reason being because it's such a show. How can you not care? How can you not care? Think about the season they had. And they had an awful season. We cared, though. We cared that that pick is going to Oklahoma City unless it's in the like. They're the Real Housewives. They're the reality show everybody can't help but keep their eyes on.
What's going to happen to Joel Embiid? What's going to happen to Paul George? All of these questions are going to keep swirling and swirling and swirling. Paul George will keep podcasting through it. Bless his heart. Like the 3rd pick, do they use it to the trade? I don't know. But I know I care.
There's also this interesting like. Ace Bailey is one of the strangest draft prospects in a while, like won't work out for the Sixers, seems to be like very specific about where he would want to go. I don't know about you. I mean, I would love to go to a team that's ready-made for a championship if everybody stays healthy.
Well, no, but see, I wouldn't if I was Ace Bailey because my thing is I want to go and play and shoot 1,000,000 times and have freedom to be one of the best players on my team. I don't want to go somewhere where it's like, I made a mistake.
Let me be more specific. I think any franchise or any player coming into a draft would want to go to a franchise that they trust, that they know will take care of them. And whether or not they're in a championship mode. Wow, I just talked myself out of the 76ers.
There you go.
Is that what people really think about the 76ers? Because I thought it was just Joel Embiid's fault. Or is the organization supposed to be strong enough where you should be able to, control a player who doesn't really seem to take things as seriously?
Look, it was a while ago, but Roy Hibbert was on a podcast and he was talking about coaching and why he hated it. It was the worst year of his basketball life working as a coach, and he was working for the Sixers. And he was talking about, didn't mention any specific names, but he said you couldn't hold anybody accountable. We'd start practice and a big time player would not be at practice. And we're like, where is he? No one knew. And then he would show up late and he's like, I don't feel like practicing today. And he said, no one held anyone accountable. And so again, that was a different regime and it was a while ago, but it was some of the
So they
same
should be active is what you're saying. Like dangle that number 3 pick out there. Because if I want Ace Bailey doesn't want to come here. I'm not going to deal with that. I'll just go get a vet.
Daryl Morey is always when you're wondering, he's on the side of activity. Put him right there. There you go. That's good for me for the Sixers. Next one up. What do we got, Izzy?
This one's super interesting to me. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if you heard, they won the championship this week. Yeah. And they have the 15th and the 24th picks because, of course, they have all the draft picks. And they have 11 firsts overall in the next 5 years. Okay. So a championship team, a team that's done it with a very flexible salary situation because they have a bunch of young players. Do they keep collecting players and just add them to the back of the train and keep going? Or do they sort of collect and try to improve upon this team and really sort of take that next gear and create championship? I would say almost like dynasty, rather. I would say almost like the Kevin Durant trade, right? Turn the Warriors from a championship team to, dynasty over a handful of years.
Right.
Do the Thunder try to package this and maybe a Chet Holmgren and say, hey, Giannis, come on over here, make us a dynasty, or anybody else out there, even a Joel Embiid, somebody else to sort of upgrade in a way that nobody saw coming?
You know what? I don't see that happening. And the reason I don't see that happening is they've got a great kind of cascading salary situation where they've got a bunch of people who are under contract. So Alex Caruso's under contract long-term, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Aaron Wiggins, like Isaiah Joe. They've got those guys under contract. You got to give an extension to Jalen Williams soon. And you got to give an extension to Chet Holmgren soon. And by the way, Lou Dort also has only, I guess, 2 years left, but he's extension eligible as well. So I think this is one of those things where do I use picks to package and get someone with cost certainty, right? Not necessarily like, this massive upgraded talent, but just a little bit of cost certainty. I don't know.
If they're inactive, they're down there in the don't care corner. If they're active, I'm intrigued because they're going to be making a move that nobody expected.
I'll tell you right now, unless it's like a massive deal, I think it's still don't care.
Anything short of Giannis.